What's up, Phoenix? Come see me do live stand-up comedy. Where am I doing it? Stand-up live. What are the odds? I'm doing live stand-up comedy at a place called Stand Up Live. It's a great club. I love Phoenix. I go there once a year. September 19th, that's a Thursday. That's the night you want to fill. Come on, Warriors. Rally. I don't care if you got to drive from Tucson, because I ain't playing Tucson. Come up from Tucson to Phoenix and see me at Stand Up Live September 19th. That's a Thursday. And then you get to be all hungover at work on Friday and go, I saw Jay Mohr last night. It was great. We took off our shirts and did diamond push-ups. I will also be there September 20th, which is a Friday, September 21st, which is a Saturday. If you want any and all of my stand-up comedy dates, jmohr.com. All good things flow through jmohr.com. You got to go to jmohr.com and get your tickets. You can buy tickets for Stand Up Live, me, in Phoenix, September 19th. It's right around the corner. Don't blow this. Let's have a party, because my girl wants to party all the time at Stand Up Live. That was free. Give me that for free. Now you give me a little kickback. Come see me do stand-up. Holler. GoDaddy.com, great sponsor. Don't fast forward over this because the contest is closing, y'all. It's closing. We have a contest right here at More Stories. I want you to go to GoDaddy.com and I want you to type in stories and I want you to come up with the best URL that's going to make us all laugh here at More Stories. Matt Sorum's on the podcast today, whenever you're listening. Maybe you could go, hey, Matt Sorum, best two-arm drummer in the business.com. And then you could put photos up of other two-armed drummers that are in rock and roll. That'd be a cool website. What if there's an entire website of just two-armed drummers? Matt Sorum has two arms, and he's my favorite drummer.com. It would make us laugh. You might win. Go to GoDaddy. They're offering my listeners a great new special offer for its most popular .com domain name. Impress us. Make it happen. Make it funny. Make it cool. Enter the promo code STORIES at checkout at GoDaddy.com to redeem your new or transfer.com. Check this out. Only $2.49 for the first year of registration, or click on the GoDaddy banner at jmohr.com. All good things happen through jmohr.com. Some limitations apply. Please see website for details. I'm asking you to do us a solid. You want to have some fun. I want this to be interactive. I want you guys to be a part of the show. Come up with a real funny URL. Email me your URL at jmohr.com, and we're going to pick a winner, and we're going to crown you. We will crown you the winner of the funniest .com name in regards to More Stories. GoDaddy.com and make sure you enter stories at checkout.
Put your name on it. Just put your name on it. That's all I say. Be a man or a woman. Put your name on it.
Well, I'd like to hear about it, potheads.
How the fuck you gonna know how to be great if you don't study greatness? Look at the game tape.
Donuts.
If you want a battle, it's either that you will or you won't.
You know, you're not a bad-looking man, Mr. Gals.
But you are, Blanche. You are in that chair.
There's something wrong with us. Something very, very wrong with us.
Hey, man.
All right, Matt Sorum on More Stories. The website is weird. It's mattsorum.tv. TV. And is that tv.com or that's the whole caboodle?
It's .tv because Tommy Lee called me one day. He goes, dude. That's usually how I start the conversation.
Yeah.
And he says, you got to get .tv, dude. It's the wave of the future. And I'm like, really? He goes,
Pull your chair up, so you have to lean all day.
He goes, .com's done.
Yeah, nothing's ever going to happen to that .com stuff. Anytime Tommy Lee comes at you with the mania and the great idea, maybe go the other way.
Well, you know, he had a lot
gambling.
Yeah. He had a lot of followers on his Facebook page, so I believed him. And I thought, wow, he's socially media savvy. And I ran out there and I got the .tv, and then I read it's an island called Tavali off the Philippines.
So every time somebody does a Google search, mattsorum.tv, it also takes them to like
Tavali.
What about
which
like
is
transvestites or television sets?
Yeah.
Is it bad that I went to trannies before I went to TV sets?
But maybe at some point, I'm thinking I can monopolize on this thing because I believe that soon, I think, like your podcast will probably come up right on our television set. We'll have to
yeah.
We'll have to see your face. It'll all be like all intertwined. There won't be any like cable or any of that crap anymore. It'll just be all internet.
Yeah,
So my .tv will be strong.
Yeah, I don't think like .org, .gov, .net.
Yeah.
Tommy's one of those guys that calls you super manic.
Yeah.
He's like, bro, we're going to open Tanny Salons and we're going to give out karate bags.
Yeah.
And you're like, wait, what?
Now
But
that's
he's
a good idea. I've never heard of that one.
He's so fired up.
Yeah, he is.
He's
like
sweetheart.
a kid. He's like a 15, 16-year-old kid. 12-year-old kid.
Let's talk about when you were 12 in a band called Chateau and you guys were rolling around. Because you're a local dude.
Yeah, I am.
Chino? No. Where are you from?
I grew up in Mission Viejo, California.
Mission Viejo. So you're in Chateau.
God,
you guys thought you were fancy, right?
I got to tell you, I went through a little bit of a pot smoking phase. and I was quite a bit of pot. Because I grew up in California. I mean, what else are you going to do? You know, I was eating really healthy alfalfa and avocado sandwiches. I was probably one of the first guys to drink a smoothie. That's in the 70s, right?
First guy ever. You were the Neil Armstrong of drinks.
Okay, no, are you hip to Hava chips? Have you ever had
Yeah,
okay,
I like them a lot.
I went out with a chick whose dad owned Hava chips.
I love Hava chips.
And they used to have a smoothie place in Laguna Beach.
Like
and I'd go down there and we'd have a smoothie and I had a Hava chip and then I'd eat an avocado and alfalfa sprout sandwich and then I'd go smoke a big doobie and I'd listen to progressive music. I'd listen to like Genesis and Gentle Giant, King Crimson, and I was like, whoa, this is heavy, right? So I started this band called Chateau, which wasn't my greatest musical endeavor ever in my career, but it was kind of a progressive rock thing.
It's just funny to me, like back then, Genesis was like prog rock. Like
Oh,
Abacab
well, yeah,
was like,
well-
man, you can't fuck with Abacab.
No.
By the way, in all fairness, Phil
Yeah.
Collins takes a lot of shit. I
Yeah.
actually think Abacab is top notch.
Right. I kind of lost it and then there were three.
Yeah.
Like, I came in like pre-Gabriel, right? Like when Gabriel was still around.
the
Like
real
Lamb
deal.
Lies Down on Broadway.
And that was progressive, so you're fair. Okay, fair, good.
Yeah. So I was like, I don't know. I guess I could just give away my age. It doesn't matter. But I'm 52. So in the 70s, all my friends like Zeppelin and Sabbath and Deep Purple. I'm like, man, screw you. If
You liked white stuff. Real. Only two concerts I've ever walked out of: Genesis and Todd Rundgren.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Genesis at the Carrier Dome, and I was like embarrassed to be white. It was just filled with white people
That was
screaming Invisible Touch.
Well, maybe it was white dude music, which don't you think Rush is white dude music?
Yes.
A Dream Theater?
Greg Proops, who does a great podcast, said he went to see Rush. He never saw more gray ponytails in his life.
Oh, my God. Yeah,
Best-
mullets that turned
best
into a
synopsis.
ponytail. Yeah.
But I remember Genesis in particular, it was so many people. Everybody was white. Everybody was like kind of like that faux rocking out. Like,
Yeah.
like you can't really rock out to
You
Invisible
can't dance
Touch
to
or-
Genesis, man.
Like Abacab. Yeah, and like, I'll give you a yes. I'll give you a roundabout.
Yeah.
Like if you want to rock out to something really white.
Yeah.
But I was like, this is fucking dumb. We got to get out of here.
Yeah, it was pretty white music, I got to say. I have to admit. But I had a phase, and my friends brought me back, and they turned me on to, like, Sabbath Volume 4, and I came back.
Bill Ward, underrated.
Yeah, very underrated drummer.
And now underworked.
Yeah. The drummers get no respect, man.
None. Well, you've gotten a lot of respect, Matt.
Well, I
Sorum.
have, but I got a good lawyer.
That's attaboy. Well done.
It's like, any kid would, hey, man, I want to play drums just like you, and I want to be in a band, and I want to, like, have a house like you. And I go, get a good lawyer.
Yeah. So you don't get that Bill Ward treatment.
Oh, God.
Poor Bill Ward.
Well, you got to remember, he's the guy that kicked Ozzy out of the band.
Yeah. Ozzy probably holds a grudge, maybe? Or
It's
Ozzy's
like,
lawyers?
so you imagine, here's the scene. Ozzy's laid out on the couch after a pretty hard night of drinking, and Bill walks in, and he's like, dude, we've had it with you, man. You're out. Fire the guy. So they bring in, like, Ronnie James Dio or whatever, right? So years later, he's like, Bill, what about him?
Yeah.
But
it's a fair point.
I did a show with Sabbath in Greece with Velvet Revolver. We opened for them, and it was all the original lineup. And here I was, a kid who saw him at the Long Beach Arena in 76 or 77, when they were just on, they were kids then still. And I was just a little kid. I was
spooky.
like 15.
It was all so spooky then, too.
If you remember, if you look at old footage of Black Sabbath, there was a white piece of tape in the middle of the stage, and Tony Iommi used to stand in the middle, and Ozzy was stage right. So Ozzy was never in the middle. It was Tony's band.
Yeah.
So go back and look at some old YouTubes.
I will now, yeah.
Okay, and there was a white line, and that white line was for Ozzy never to cross that white line.
That's pretty cool. And you know what? A lesson in a successful band for a while, boundaries, establish boundaries. This is my side.
Could you imagine that would have worked for Guns N' Roses? No.
No, that would not have worked at all.
But the thing that was really cool about, seeing that band again and playing with them and being on the same stage with them was in Greece when they all were playing together, and it was that magic that you feel from bands, that original lineup and the sound of that band. And Bill Ward, God bless his soul, he's been through a whole hell of a lot. But when he was playing, man, I mean, no other drummer can play like that. It's like trying to play. I think the thing I've tried to explain about drummers is people are like, man, you're not as good as the first drummer in Guns N' Roses. I'm like, we're different people. The human nature of being a drummer is so much different because I think you naturally play a certain way, and it's your heartbeat and everything that makes you play. You can't go, I'm going to play like John Bonham, because it's never going to sound like John Bonham.
Right. And you bring up a really interesting point, Matt Sorum, and that's I've taken shit on Twitter like, we don't know, you got to keep saying who the guest is, even though it says it when you click on it on iTunes. A drummer's job is time, essentially.
Yeah.
I mean, is that the bare, basic, root job description?
Being on time and having good time is really great, yes. But
I mean, if you're a half second off, it's over. Everything's
well,
over.
yeah, I think the thing
it's
that
not
people
like guitar
forget,
where you can...
people forget, like if the drummer drops the beat, the whole thing goes to shit.
Yeah. So it's not like you're not as good as Steven Adler, you're not as good as that guy. Like, well, first of all, we all keep the same time.
Yeah.
It's how, and Steve Gorman told me this from the Crows. He said Ringo was his second favorite drummer behind Bonham. And I was like, Ringo. And all drummers that come in here, they circle back around to Ringo. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Yeah. And it wasn't until you start hanging out with drummers, and thank God I have one in front of me for this discussion, they just hit differently. They hit the drums. They keep time, but the way they hit, it's different.
Yeah, I think that really is that human sensibility that you can't emulate. And it stems from, you got to remember, the heartbeat is a certain rhythm that actually, the dance tempo, I don't know, we get kind of crazy with this, but at 120 BPM, which is beats per minute, that is the perfect dance tempo. Did you know that?
No, I did not.
For like disco songs. But we naturally feel these different rhythms. We all do as people. Like you listen to a slow song, you go, oh, I'm feeling sad and melancholy. And then you listen to some speed metal and you just want to break some shit, you know? And you're like, why am I having that feeling? Well, it all has to do with tempo and the heartbeat and the way you're feeling.
Come on in,
inside.
sit down. It's super laid back. Don't worry. Oh, yeah. But make Tommy give up the massage chair. Now Tommy's got to do some inclines over here.
Yeah. That's my publicist. Isn't she hot?
Sure.
That's how we
like
work
girls, I guess.
If you like girls.
What's your name?
Kim.
Hi, Kim. How are you? I'm Jay.
Hi, Jay. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Matty boy. At JMoore37, at The Real Hey Matty, at Matt Sorum.
Yeah.
You're in a band called Chateau. We're going to go back to beats per minute, I suppose.
Yeah.
But I want to know how you guys almost got in a fist fight with Rat and who would have won.
Oh my God, where'd you read this stuff?
Bro, I am wired. When you going to this is where rock stars come to dish, bro. Look at the look who's been on the podcast and just imagine what we say when we're off mic.
Okay, since I've already given my age, 1974.
61 years old. That's so.
Yeah, well, yeah.
You look good.
Thanks, man.
So how old are you?
I'm 52.
Oh, not as good.
The liver is 61. Maybe older. But so check it out. So the Key Club, you know where that sits on Sunset? That used to be a place called Gazzari's Crazy Horse West. Very famous club.
Catchy.
Gazzari's was a real guy.
I know. I've seen the
name was Bill.
documentaries. I like Gazzari's Crazy Horse West.
Yeah.
Not exactly Applebee's. Doesn't roll off the tongue.
Yeah, check it out. So this is a real person. His name was Bill Gazzari. He wore a white gangster suit, and he had a white hat.
Yeah.
And he used to say, "We got all the hot chicks and hot guys at Gazzari's." And it was on the radio, and everyone would go there. And bands like Rat, the original Van Halen lineup, which was called Mammoth. So this is early 70s. I'm talking. So Van Halen got signed in 79. They were playing there around 75, 76. So I played my first gig at Gazzari's Crazy Horse West when I was 14, 1974.
What was that band? No, it was before Chateau.
That band was called Prophecy.
Yeah.
It was like a 3-piece power trio.
All your band names sound like Christopher Walken B movies. I'm starring in Chateau.
Prophecy.
It's a double feature with Prophecy.
Hey, there was a lot of weed going around. It was that
of course,
time.
Blame it on the weed. Yeah.
So, Prophecy, there was,
But 14, I want to point out to the listener, a lot of people are like, how do I do this? How do I do that? How do I get into comedy? And I always go, like Nike puts it best, just do it. Mm-hmm. And the fact that you were 14 at Ben Gazzari's, whatever the fuck it was, West, like, that's insane. Like, there's people right now, at 14, you're usually like jerking up into a sweat sock trying to figure out algebra, and you're actually performing on the Sunset Strip. That's through sheer tyranny of your own will, right?
Yeah, I had to do it, man.
You were called.
The time was on fire. It was an amazing time for music, and really felt that I had to do it, and I had to be there. And I used to tell my mom, I lived in Orange County, which is only 60 miles south. But I'd say, hey, I'm going over with my buddies to like have a slumber party, and that was the thing. And he would tell his mom the same thing, and we would get, we'd head for Hollywood. And the band was a little bit older than me, so they could drive. I didn't have a license, but I used to play this club, and the old Gazzari's was 4 stages, so it was 2 downstairs and 2 upstairs. But this particular night, I was in this band Chateau. What would happen would be, you would be on stage, and the other band would be getting ready to play. So you'd finish playing, and the next band would just start, right?
That's cool.
So I'm up there playing with Chateau, and I hear, what's his name, Stephen Piercy going, "Hey, Chick, hey, how you doing out there?" And the drummer's going, "Tsh, tsh," and the guitar player's, "Ah." So I was like, "Hey, man, we're not done with our set yet, dudes. Chill out." So he spouted off something back to me, Stephen Piercy. And then I remember jumping off the stage, and I gave him, a punk rock finger, and I gave it, said, "Dude, I'll kick you," And we got into this whole.
I like 8 guys wearing hairspray about to fist fight. What the fuck's wrong with you guys?
It was a good look.
I'll kick your ass.
All you'd have to do is light a match; it'd be over.
Step at me, bro. Take off the scarf. Come at me.
So that was, and they were the big cheese that night. They were at that time they were called Mickey Rat, and they were like the headliner. So that didn't go down well, but.
So there was no fisticuffs. It was just
not a lot of spouting off and throwing stuff and yelling in the mic but
good
no
press. I bet the next morning on the radio, they're probably like, "It was crazy last night on the Strip."
Yeah, I should have seen that drummer in Chateau. Can't remember his name.
Stephen Piercy.
Yeah,
Stephen Piercy and the Kid, the Orange County Kid.
That's right.
That was your stage name back then. The Orange County Kid.
Yep.
So you played with crazy. We were talking about drummers. You Matt Sorum, played with so many bands. Like the fact that you got to play with the Cult, like all the bands I love, you got to play with, and then obviously Duff has sat here and sung your praises. And cool. I guess for a bassist, is that the most important guy in the band to like you?
Yeah.
Assuming it's not like Axl, like a crazy person.
Well,
my words, not yours.
I think for a drummer, if you ask any drummer, they would say, the bass player sort of sets the tone for how you're going to play. Like if you listen to me play drums in the Cult, it was a totally different kind of thing than what I did with Guns N' Roses. Duff had a different style that kind of made me play a different way too. We're very
really?
The drummer and the bass player are very connected in like kind of a more undertone, the way that people don't think about. But if you think rhythm section, you always say bass player and the drummer, and then maybe a rhythm guitar player comes into that. But the rhythm section really is the drums and the bass. So me and Duff, we click in a different way than he clicked with Steven, and same with when I played with the Cult. I played a little bit different. If I play different styles of music with different players, it's all about the collective, So
It seems like the Cult, one of the few bands actually louder than Guns N' Roses.
Yeah, we were. Well, the
I
thing
love the
about
Cult.
that band was, it came from more of a kind of an AC/DC style of groove. Billy Duffy from the Cult would describe it as below the waist versus the sex kind of grooves.
Oh yeah,
Like if you listen to AC/DC, that shit's like it's got that sexy kind of swagger to it. Chicks dig it; they could dance to it. You hear it in a lot of strip bars.
Yeah.
It's like, like Lars from Metallica said to me one time. He's like, we used to go out to different strip bars and stuff back in the day, and he said, "How come they never play Metallica songs at strip bars?" And I'd say because girls cannot dance to your music.
And they also can't dance for 14 minutes.
Yeah, yeah.
Like tighten it up, Lars.
So after that, they wrote the Black album, which I'm responsible for because I told Lars he needed to slow down, write some
For
groovier
strippers.
Yeah,
You are.
This is a true story.
Metallica's success.
I am. This is a very true story. So Lars is really bummed out because girls don't like his band, right? Metallica. It was all guys. And I said, well, why don't you guys write some sexy songs, with a groove? So they came up with that Enter Sandman and a few other hits. And
Yeah, Enter Sandman. That's a panty dropper.
yeah, and
Talking about.
but at least check it out.
It is. Strippers can dance to it.
We walk
They
in.
also dance to the Rooster. They don't even know what it means.
The Gold Club, Atlanta,
All right.
1991. We walk in, and what do I hear? I'm with Lars because we're on tour together. Guns N' Roses Metallica Stadium tour. We hear dong 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 down 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 down, and he's like, I never had seen the guy smile so much in my life. He was so happy. He threw his arms up. It's like he had arrived.
And at that point, he's $20 million liquid. $20 million liquid.
He just sold his Basquiat at the Christie's auction
It's an
house.
original, bro. It's just a charcoal drawing. It's
Hey.
a Fairbane's bread,
Now look,
Made me feel great.
I told him to write the Black Album, but he told me to buy a Basquiat painting.
You should have taken his
Coulda,
advice.
shoulda, woulda.
Oh, you didn't buy it? Does he
He's
really
like-
have Basquiat's?
Oh, he got crazy on
I
Basquiat.
love Basquiat.
He sold close to $30 million of Basquiat's at the Christie auction house that he made millions.
So he's a guy, if you're on the road, he's the one you want to mug.
He's
Like Izzy Stradlin is kind of like a gypsy, and you're not going to really get anything out of Izzy if you roll him in his sleep. But like Lars, like maybe a Cy Twombly rolls out.
yeah, I'm
Like
telling
some
you,
weird
man.
art, an
What-
Anne Sexton
like a
original
Van
poem.
Gogh just
Yeah.
in the backseat of his
Some
car.
weird E.E. Cummings original print poem.
Yeah.
Not even the rain has such small hands.
No, hey, he's got some amazing works of art at his house. He's a very intelligent guy. I really love that guy. He's, when he was
he almost in Guns N' Roses?
Lars Ulrich.
He can't leave Metallica, right?
No, I don't think he would leave that band.
But I wouldn't either. But when it just brings me to my segue, which I'm poor at. Who's the short list? Who do you know was also up for the gig at Guns N' Roses?
Oh, after me?
No, when Steven was booted.
Oh, okay.
Like, did you know who else?
Yeah, there was
going
a
in?
drummer from a band called the Sea Hags. You ever hear of them?
No, oddly.
Yeah, they were friends of a friend, and they played around the whiskey and those kind of clubs. But the drummer that was in the drum seat before me was Martin Chambers, who was the drummer from the Pretenders.
Yeah.
But from what I hear,
It's so incongruous. It's
that
like when
weird?
Jane's Addiction goes out with like Alanis Morissette's bassist.
yeah,
And you're like, wait, what?
yeah,
And then Eric Avery goes to Alanis Morissette. You're like, how does that work?
that
like, what-
that was strange.
But like the fact that the Pretenders drummer was drumming for GNR,
Yeah.
like I can't imagine that guy doing Rocket Queen.
Yeah, well, I tell you, they liked his drumming a lot. He had a really cool English style, but what the story I was told was they didn't like his drum stands. He had like these
This is
he had these stands that were all like
smokes.
custom built, would
Yeah,
all
what
look
a-
like a spider.
yeah, what a jerk.
They were like, we liked his drumming, but we couldn't.
It takes attention away from us. Why don't you say what it really is?
But couldn't you be like, we really like you, but can you get some different drum stands? I mean, they just didn't want to go there, so they decided to just cut him.
and it worked out, obviously. What was 8 years you were there?
Yeah, well, what happened was I was in a band called The Cult, and we were playing at Universal Amphitheater, which was called the Gibson Theater now,
Yeah.
right? Universal Amphitheater.
I love that spot.
And I've told the story a few times, but
You want to know how shit you are? You played there on your way up. This is high as I'll ever be,
yeah.
fame-wise, and I got to play there with 11 other comics for Kevin and Bean's like April Foolishness. Like you play there like working like that's your like.
Hey,
I guess I'll work shit out.
Yeah,
tonight.
you know what? You're going to make more dough because you got no crew. You just got a microphone.
That's right.
Get
I
in
got
there.
Matty Boy.
Get in there and kick ass.
I pay him in Newports.
Hey, you know who I saw at the Universal Amphitheater sold out? Ronnie Dangerfield.
Really?
Yes.
That's the weirdest.
Dude, I went. The king of the one-liners, right? You got a couple?
Yeah. Yeah, me and my dad used to play hide and go fuck yourself. Yeah, Rodney.
Like the wife ones and stuff with the kitchen. And I went
to my wife. My doctor, Dr. Vinny Boombatz. He's the worst doctor in the world. I never tried to do Rodney before. I'm not going to start.
Now, I'm telling an hour and a half of one-liners, man. It was
amazing.
incredible.
I saw Phyllis Diller do it once.
Oh, wow.
At Avery Fisher Hall. And it's like I can remember stories because I know like what happened to me.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But I don't know how you remember an hour of one, like sentence,
wow.
And they were 80 when they did it.
And you're just dying. I mean, it was unbelievable.
All right, so the Colts at Universal Amphitheater.
Okay.
Which, by the way, probably in my mind, the absolute best possible place to go see like the Cult.
It was pretty rocking. And we
were
supporting
Electric. What album?
No, Sonic Temple.
Okay, good.
Very end of the tour, we were fired up. Everyone was strong, and I see these two characters get out of a limo right at the entrance where you kind of come in. And in the old days, it used to be kind of open, and there was a gate to the backstage. And the limo pulls up, and out comes Slash. And
I think Matt Sorum and I are talking about the artist's entrance. At the Gibson Amphitheater. I'm so happy
in front of the will call window.
Oh,
no, not out there.
Hey, are you that dude that comes out on that movie, Holmes? Hey, what movie you come out on?
I'm sorry,
man?
It's been so long.
What movie you come out on, man?
No.
How much money you make, dog?
I'm going to tell you a funny Duff and Kagan story in a second after I tell this
I'll
one.
write it down so you don't forget.
Write it down because I'm going to tell you about the real men.
You're out back.
Okay, so
a limo pulls up.
That would be the backstage entrance.
Yeah.
Correct. So the limo pulls up. I always described it as these two guys fell out of this limo, right, which was kind of true. And they had a little group of girls with them, and they came in. And I remember thinking, the Cult tour's over. Shit, what am I going to do? Because in those days, I was a sideman. I was basically hired help, the drummer.
Were you on salary?
I was on salary. And I remember I joked.
If I may, and I take and we'll come right back. The Cult, Ian Astbury, who the royalties go which way?
There's two guys. Billy Duffy and Ian Astbury.
Okay, so that's 50-50.
I call them the Hall & Oates of rock and roll.
The Nankerfelge. But which one's Oates? That's really the big... Don't answer that.
Oh,
There's
shit.
no good answer.
Yeah, no. I wouldn't want to put that on anybody.
So you're like Ron Wood in the Stones. You're getting a salary to rock out.
Yeah, Ronnie Wood was in the Stones for 20 years before he ever got cut in. Did you know that?
You know how he got cut in? Remember when he went to rehab for like 2 days?
Yeah.
You can't go on tour if your guitarist is in rehab.
No, ooh, that's a good one.
Remember
I'm fucked up. I can't go.
Remember how quick that was?
Yeah.
And then TMZ had footage of him like doing Nixon's peace finger.
Yeah,
that's what I heard anyway. What do I know?
Wow, that's a good one. But could you imagine? I mean, most bands don't last 2 years, let alone 20. And then you're like, we're gonna make you a member.
Cut him in.
Yeah.
Poor Bill Ward.
Yeah. So
show. That's
so Ronnie gets cut in, and anyway. I just jokingly said to my girlfriend, hey, man, maybe I could go play with those guys. And I end up getting a call from Slash, and then I joined Guns N' Roses. I went and played initially.
But had Steven been kicked out by
No, he hadn't been kicked out yet. I was going to come in
was
and
it writing on the wall like Brian Jones,
I was going to come in and fill.
Tour with this guy. He's a mess.
Yeah, I was just going to come in and fill the bill and like do the album. And then we started playing, and then it turned into them offering me the gig.
How much time went by for you to make up your mind to accept that?
About a half of a millisecond right before Slash poured me a cocktail.
There's really no unit of time. They haven't calculated how to measure how quick that was.
Yeah.
A blink of an eye is like 80 times.
I didn't call my lawyer. I didn't. No, I didn't.
Man.
Whatever you guys want to give me, if it's a bird dropping, I don't care. I'm just like,
yeah. Now, did you?
I'm on for the ride.
Were there rumblings that Steven was going to go? I'm not asking you to throw anybody under the bus.
No, I think they were going to try and get him in shape to come back. But
he pushed back.
At that point, I think the band really needed to get moving. There was about 4 years of downtime there.
You know what I said to Duff? I go, you know how weird it is? You were someone's interventionist.
Yeah, right?
Like you and Slash had to tell somebody, get your shit together, bro. Be like us.
Well, that's always how I gauge my alcoholism.
How
Well,
how the rest of the band's playing?
these guys start drinking at 10 o'clock in the morning. I'm fine. I don't start till like 5 o'clock at night.
Oh, I think you say 11. I'm at 10:15.
No, I do happy hour. I go happy hour maybe a little earlier.
What's your favorite Guns N' Roses song to play? Like, what's one that you go, I'm so happy I'm playing this?
Well, let me tell you when I thought I'd known I had arrived. When I turned on Sunday Night Football highlights and I heard the opening drum fill to You Could Be Mine, a guy was going for a long bomb. And it's like in the pass, and I'm like, yeah!
That's me.
And I'm not like a big sports guy, but
Yeah,
that
but
was like, for me, it was like, that is killer.
Yeah, because it's it's totally American. It's uniquely American.
So that song probably is my most representative of me as a drummer and the band and everything. It was my first video with them. So probably You Could Be Mine. You know?
That's badass. And you made sure that you didn't have any fancy drum kits.
No, I didn't. You know, Tommy Lee was doing all that.
Yeah.
So I was like,
And
Tommy
Neil
Lee
Peart
was like,
looks like he's driving
dude,
a fucking
Tommy
Japanese
called me.
train.
Yeah. Tommy calls me. He's like, dude, I got this thing. It's going to spin around and go up in the air. I'm like,
Oh, yeah, he has that little roller coaster.
well, he's got a roller coaster now. But I go, you know what I'm going to have? A drum riser.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, I had a gong for about 2 nights. And then,
In case somebody wasn't funny.
yeah.
Or in case a Japanese person walked on
Axel
stage.
made me take it away.
Doing.
Axel,
Really?
Yeah, he goes, get rid of that. I go, okay.
Yeah, whatever you say, Axel. You were the only guy in the band deferring to Axel at that point.
Well, I was, you know, we got along really well in the early days. We got along fine. You know, he was happy to be the band. I think they were all happy to be moving again and be working.
Yeah.
You know, and I came in there, you know, and just we got the ball rolling and got out into play, and you know.
Let's talk about peacethroughmusic.org, which is important because you were in the band in high school. So anybody listening to this that thinks, correct, you were in the band in high school? You
I
were in the
was.
marching band? Okay. There was just an odd silence, and I went, did I get that? I get Chateau right, and I fuck up him in the band? So you were in the marching band in high school,
Yes.
a drummer, obviously. So, and what happens a lot on this podcast is a lot of people that feel like they don't fit in, they hear somebody and they go, oh, shit, and everything sort of clicks, at least for a moment. But Matt Sorum, you're a guy like, you're in the marching band in high school, and then at night you're going to Sunset Strip to kick the shit out of Stephen Piercy and Tico
Well,
Torres.
yeah, I you know, I was
not even the right band.
I
It's
was
a
very
good name.
lucky because
Tico Torres sounds like he should be in Rat.
Tico Torres, yeah,
Sorry.
Tico. So.
So marching band.
So well, I grew up in a time when there was a lot of music in school, and thank God for that because, you know, I had an outlet. You know, I don't really know what would happen to me if I didn't. I mean, yes, I was smoking a little weed like everybody
Who
was.
cares?
But I didn't go like, you know, steal cars or anything. Like a lot of kids, I really think the reason I started this charity and the way I feel about music and art being taken out of schools and how I felt growing up is I connect with these kids because as a kid, I didn't really have a lot of other abilities. I wasn't doing well in academics. I just wasn't focused on that. And even sports. I wasn't really a sports guy. I got traumatized early on. I tried sports, and this like old guy yells out. I dropped the ball, and this old guy yells out of the stands, "Butterfingers!" And, you know, and that was it for me. I'm like, you know,
Being heckled by old men.
Yeah, it was, you know, like the dad of the kid. You know,
pictured the two old guys from the
you
Muppet
know,
Show.
so
up in
then
the
I got this
balcony.
nickname, Butterfingers, right?
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I couldn't hold on to the ball, but you know, my hands were destined for something else. So I started gravitating towards drums. But the reason I did
Oh,
that,
they're gonna say murder. I was like, so murder. Whoa. Choking out hookers in Yermo.
Yeah. So I gravitated towards music. I grew up in a kind of a beach community area too. I couldn't surf for shit. I was falling off the surfboard, which is really lame. You don't want to do that in front of a bunch of hot chicks on the beach, right?
Yeah.
No. So I stayed closer to the beach and started a band. So that was my way of being cool and being
You have the
accepted.
last laugh now. You're in Guns N' Roses, Velvet Revolver, The Cult, Chateau.
Yeah.
The Star
Prophecy.
of
Don't forget Prophecy.
That was my next one.
Yeah.
It's in the hopper. My riff gun didn't jam, brother. I got you covered.
So I got this music.
Peacethroughmusic.org.
Yeah. Let me tell you kind of how I got there. So through all this music that I had growing up, you know, that was before a thing called Proposition 13, which a lot of your property tax, before they did Proposition 13, used to funnel into the education system in your neighborhoods. That would pay for the public schools. Well, that stopped. And that basically the state of California is broke.
It's a disaster, especially the schools.
Yes.
$33,000 per student at LA Unified.
How much?
$33,000 per student.
No,
at
less.
Public schools.
Less.
Less?
$7,000.
Oh, well, I was told something
$55,000 per prisoner in the state of California.
Now, this is a great point. $55,000 per prisoner, $7,000 per student.
Let me just tell you what happens then. We have more prisons. We have less kids educated. We have more prisons, right? People always say educate, don't incarcerate. But my whole thing is, if we don't give them a well-rounded curriculum, guys like myself might have been out stealing cars. I don't know. But I'm not saying that every kid that's in school needs to be a rock star.
Right. No, I know what you mean because I didn't fit in anywhere. I wrestled, but wrestlers are like, there's no group. It's not like, did you guys all hang out? Like, no, it's weird.
Right.
And I couldn't do anything.
Right.
But I was a comic, and I knew I wanted to be a comic at 15. So you can't try out bits at guys trying to be cool that are like growing pubes. Like, nothing works. It's not till you leave.
Yeah.
And like you're talking about, like you had music. And then when I finally found other comics, I was like, oh, okay, this is where I fit in.
Yeah,
that was
I think every kid's looking to fit in.
That's
some
all
way or
they want to
another.
do.
And you got to remember.
Or at least not stick out.
Yeah. Guys like Steve Jobs.
Yeah.
That guy did not do well in academics in school. You can read his book. He did not excel in those areas. And I just went to Washington, D.C. and spoke at Arts Advocacy Day with Yo-Yo Ma. And he did a beautiful speech talking about the new generation and what they need to learn in school and what CEOs of companies are looking for. They're looking for innovative, creative thinkers, right? 75% of the CEOs in the United States of America are looking for innovative thinkers. Now, this other thing that the education system is pushing called STEM, which is about test scores. Well, Yo-Yo Ma in his speech talked about STEAM, which adds A to that. I like the sound of STEAM better than STEM.
Yeah, STEAM does sound way more progressive and cool.
Yeah.
So Yo-Yo Ma gives the speech.
So Yo-Yo Ma gives a speech and talks about innovative and creative thinkers. And without art and music in schools, where are they going to have a place to be creative?
Right.
If they pull that out and they just pummel kids with test scores, number one, we're going to lose a lot of gems, guys like you, who probably would have, I don't know.
Go on.
We're going to lose kids that don't have to end up being comedians or musicians or whatever, but they could be an architect.
Yeah, graphic design, fine arts.
Yeah, internet.
That's a great point, Matt. Like, I don't think people realize arts in school, because the knee jerk is, I think, universally, and I'm speaking generically, but a huge knee jerk response to what you're doing is, fuck, cry me a river. They don't have violins in South Central, but it's not. It's like what Neil deGrasse Tyson, what he says about science and NASA. Mm-hmm. It's really with music. It's like what you said, architect, graphic arts.
Right. The internet. I mean, look at the internet. The whole world revolves around the internet. How much creativity and innovation has to be done.
And none of that came from reading Fahrenheit 451 or being good at algebra.
No.
Right.
No.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
There's a seismic shift in what the curriculum should be.
I think
and guys
so.
like you were leading the charge. Oh, yeah. I know. So I mean,
and then in what I teach in my curriculum is a lot of kids learn more. If you think about art, like for instance, last year I did an art project with 400 kids in 35 schools, and they all painted elephants. And I basically attached another charity called International Fund of Animal Welfare. So the kids learned about elephants and the problem with poaching in Africa, and also learned that circuses and things like that aren't cool. Like I basically, in a gentle way, taught the kids when their mom says, let's go to the circus, the kid can say, Mom, I don't want to go to the circus. Those animals aren't from the circus. They're from Africa or Asia, right?
I always just thought they all lived in Madison Square Garden. They just wheeled them out after the Rangers. But how come
through
nobody
that
boycotts the creepy clowns? Everyone's always worried about the animal welfare. How come nobody ever goes, we have to stop the circus? Because clown scares the shit out of everybody.
That's pretty scary shit.
No one enjoys a clown. Have you ever met anyone that goes, yay, clowns? Everybody goes, look at this guy. Oh, it's a frowny face clown.
Well, look at Cirque du Soleil, though, for instance.
But they're not clowns. They're Russian gymnasts.
No, they're not. They're not clowns. But that is an amazing circus. You don't need the animals. The animals can.
I completely agree with you.
That's
great point.
That's barbaric. It's old school. It's like
I know why Axel likes you now.
Yeah. So, and then in my music thing, my kids learn about, art and artists that came from jazz, like John Coltrane, Miles Davis. They learn about classical composers, and they can go home and tell their parents, "Mommy, I learned about Miles Davis."
And that's American history.
Yeah.
As
It's
much
American
as Andrew
history,
Jackson.
where they came from, as far as artists, where all these artists come from, and different parts of the world, and so that's all interspersed in my thing. And, I'm just very passionate about it, and I've been doing it for the last couple of years. So this thing we're going to throw is actually a gala that I'm throwing that's partnered with another charity out of Pakistan, which I got knowledgeable about Pakistan through this charity that builds schools in Pakistan. So I thought, what a cool way to kind of link two groups together. We'll do a 50-50 charity. We'll raise funds, but we'll also mix the music. So a singer named Shahzad Roy. If you go to Pakistan, you go, Shahzad Roy, this guy's like a huge rock star over there. You've never heard of him.
It's like Hasselhoff here.
Yeah, Hasselhoff. Big in Germany. You know that, right?
No, here. What do you mean here?
Does
What are you
like
talking-
stadium.
Watch your tongue, buddy. This is hallowed ground for the Has. No, I don't know. Yeah. So you guys,
So
how does peacethroughmusic.org connect to Pakistan? And then I got follow-up questions.
Okay, yeah, well,
because you are in my wheelhouse now of my questions about charities.
Yeah, okay. So basically, we've partnered on this event so we can bring all these different people together. The Pakistan community in Los Angeles, which is huge. There's a lot of people from Pakistan in Los Angeles.
I didn't know that.
People from all over the world here. So they're going to come see Shahzad, and then I'm bringing my friends. Macy Gray, Slash is going to play. I'm going to play a couple songs off my solo album, which I'm putting out in February.
Matt Sorum's Fierce
Joy.
Yeah.
Yeah. You like the name?
I love the name.
That's good because Lemmy Kilmister gave me that. So if you were like, I don't like it, I would say,
Lemmy said, no, you know what? Thank God I liked it as right.
yeah, you're like, I think I like it. I'm not sure.
No, Matt Sorum's Tommy Boy here told me right as he came in, what's the new stuff? And he said, "Is Matt Sorum's Fierce Joy?"
Fierce Joy, which I thought
Remember
was
my big question? Apostrophe S. It's literally like,
no. So check it out. So I played a Motorhead too, right?
Yes.
So I can retire now. I was actually after that. I'm like, I'm done. I had a vision of me. You ever see Field of Dreams?
Yes.
That's me walking to the field, but I'm wearing my Motorhead jacket, and I'm just. I'm done.
So I got so many questions. Like, how do you get? All right. So
okay.
Pakistan,
I'm
just so random to me.
Yeah.
That a guy from California, plays in the Cult, plays in Guns N' Roses, plays in Motorhead, starts a charity to make sure music doesn't get kicked out of schools because it's imperative to kids that fall through the cracks that aren't doing X's and O's. Goes, hey, you know what? Fuck it. Let's take it over to Pakistan.
Let's just segue
what
right now. So that first part of your show was the old Matt Sorum talking about rock and roll. Now the new part of the show starts now is going to get really boring.
All right, so we'll have halftime. Hank Williams
It's gonna
Jr.
be like, okay, honey, go get me a coffee. Let's turn it to the game now.
No, all right, it's halftime, and now we're back with the second half. Are you ready for Matt Sorum? You could be mine.
So
playing.
it's funny because even when I talk about rock and roll, I turn into this different guy. I go like, yeah, come on, and when I get into my charity thing, it's another side of me that it's always.
Well, you have to sell it. It'd be weird if you're talking like Sebastian Bach, trying to get me. If I'm going to buy lutes for Pakistani children, talk to me like a person. Sell me.
Okay, you don't think Sebastian Bach would work for?
All right, your girl and my girl tonight.
I think I don't know. No, you're probably right. Yeah, I've just started really. Things are coming to me organically. I don't like. One day I didn't wake up and go, well. I've had it with that Guns N' Roses. Now I'm going to start a charity.
My sweater was made in Pakistan. Maybe they need instruments. But what was it about Pakistan?
Well, I don't know if you heard about a girl named Malala lately. Did you hear about that?
No. Now I look like the jerk that doesn't know world events.
You know about Malala.
No.
She got shot by the Taliban.
Oh, yeah. Okay, now I know.
So basically, that's what's going on in Pakistan. Education is even way, way further away from people's, understanding than what happens in Los Angeles, California. So with that, I linked up with these people from Pakistan, and I've always been interested in that issue. And initially, when I started charities, I wanted to bring instruments to countries like Pakistan and help them with schools, and it morphed into Adopt the Arts Los Angeles. So that interest has always been there for me. When I first started Adopt the Arts, I was headed to Haiti with 18 guitars to give them to kids down there with a group called Artists for Peace and Justice.
And thank you for saying Haiti. I was with Jackson Brown Friday night, and he said Haiti. And I said to Matty Boy, I'm gonna go get a Diet Coke. I just threw up in my mouth.
Jackson Brown.
Haiti.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. At the piano. This song I wrote about Haiti. And I literally said, I think I just threw up in my mouth. I'm gonna go get a Diet Coke.
Wow.
Anyway.
So anyway, I was going down there with these guitars that I had earmarked for this orphanage in Haiti. And a guy named Paul Haggis, he did a film called Crash.
Yeah.
It was his organization. So what happened, the government at that time was actually taxing a lot of charities that were going in. There was, some corruption going on. So I don't know if you heard, but Bill Clinton went down and cleaned that up. And I couldn't get my guitars in the country without paying a bunch of money. So I had all these.
So they wanted to tariff your guitars that were being...
Basically.
Okay.
They wanted to charge a tax on the
relief.
value. Yeah, to give away a charitable donation. So I had all these instruments, and my neighbor...
if you had brought like food, if you just showed up with rice, would they
a lot of people were having a tough time getting the funds to...
So it's just overall
now
bureaucratic...
I'm having a hard time saying Haiti. So every time I go to say it, I'm like, is Jackson Brown right?
Haiti. By the way, maybe the nicest human being I've ever met in my life.
Yeah. And boy, can he sing.
Running on empty. Just play that 18
Still got a
times.
full head of hair, too, right?
I was just going to say that. It's alarming. His glasses are about as thick as the windshield on my truck. But that fucker's beautiful.
By the way, these are prescription. I'm not just trying to...
No, I could see. I'm
not just trying to be cool.
I could see the space shuttle going by in the reflection. So, all right.
Yeah.
peacethroughmusic.org, you hook up, you want to do this in countries like Pakistan and Haiti, where people that are so oppressed.
Right. So what I was going to say was that interest has always been there for me, and I've always kept connected with a lot of these, world issues. And I speak to people in different countries about me coming there and doing things all the time. And in my travels, I have visited a lot of places, but when I couldn't get the guitars into Haiti, my neighbor, Abby Berman, came down and she said, "What are you doing?" I said, "Oh, I was going to Haiti, but this is what happened." She said, "The schools in L.A. are in dire need of help." And I said, "Really?" So I walked up the street to Rosewood Avenue, which is about 2 blocks from my house. And I went in to investigate the music room. They had an old broken-down piano. It was like they were throwing in some double wide in the parking lot, and that was the music class.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Are you kidding me?" It was like nothing there for the kids to play. It was an old broken drum set. And I said, I'm gonna help the school. And I want to bring all the instruments, and I want to do whatever I can to make this work. And then she said, "Well, why don't you give them all those guitars, and then we could start to build on that." And so it started there.
So think globally. You're thinking globally, then you start acting locally.
Yeah.
And through thinking globally, acting locally, it starts going a little more global because it gets bigger than how you intended.
Well, yeah. Well, I got a lot of work to do in the LAUSD. You got to remember, just my focus is K through 6 because I really look at that as the formative years for kids.
Los Angeles Unified School District.
Yeah, LAUSD.
For those of you in the Midwest.
Yeah, and I basically have 535 schools just in LA. So
that's great. That's way more.
No, I have a lot to work on. I have 20. I'm in 25 right now, but that'll take me a minute.
Yeah.
People go, "Are you in the rest of the country?" I said, "I'd love to be, but it's a growing process and it's all organic and has to build."
So how do you make time for Pakistan and Haiti? If you're there's people in Detroit right now going, "We could use guitars. We'll sell them for heat."
Yeah. Well, my focus is LAUSD right now, and the thing that I'm doing with Pakistan is they're handling that, and they're coming and partnering just for this event with us, but they're handling all that funding.
And did you ever get to Haiti? Did you ever
I never made it down there with the stuff because
they made it so you couldn't.
Yeah, but everything was, Now
you do a lot of different charities. Like I'm on YouTube watching you protesting dolphin slaughter.
Yeah.
And I never watch things like that. Like I won't watch The Cove. because I was telling your guy Tom here, you're the label guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're the label guy, Tom. You're the man.
He is. He's a huge industry giant.
Like, I won't look at any animal
You're right.
videos because I don't want it to detract for how little I really care about animals. I don't want to ever be like, this tuna isn't dolphin safe. We got to go to the next store. Or like I won't watch meat being made because I don't want to become a vegan.
Yeah.
I don't want to have any morals. Like, I want animals. I'm an animal lover. You saw the animals in my home.
Very small little doggies.
Little puppies.
I'm worried about you.
You got to take no. They're delicious. You got to take extra care.
Do you walk down the street with that little one by yourself?
Yeah, there's two of them. There's another one you missed out on. But I think she's right behind you.
Don't come in my part of town walking that dog, okay, boy?
I'll do it. I'll fucking do it. Leg kick, shoot the double. I'll take that fight to the ground with my little dog nipping at your ear, dude. So you get involved. Your Twitter page at Matt Sorum is fascinating to me because it's good photo. You on a Singapore Airlines flight.
Yeah.
In you look like you're in a hyperbaric chamber, but that's just their business class
I'm just
seat.
going to save dolphins, man.
All right, why? So do you see where I'm going with this?
Yeah.
Is you're an enigma to me because you're a rock star. You could really just go up into the hills and be Joe Walsh and just kind of come out when you feel like it.
I did that for a long time.
Oh, really?
I was up in the hills. I had a 6-level, 6-bedroom house with 2 elevators and 2 matching Porsches.
Was there 1 bedroom on each level, or did you spread it out?
I did all that, but what I realized is I didn't find happiness there.
So you're happy when you're helping others. And by others, I mean also other mammals, like not even human others, like dolphin others.
Do you swim? Do you like to swim?
I'm in the ocean often, and I see dolphins almost every day because I'm down here jogging on the beach, and I love them.
Do you know that dolphins have been on this planet for 65 million years?
No, I did not.
And then we're more closely connected to a dolphin than we are an ape?
I did not know that.
Did you know it's the only other mammal that it has sex missionary style?
I think I actually did know that.
That's true.
But they got to hold their breath to do it.
No, man, they can hold their breath for a long time.
Yeah, but they can't. They got to hold their breath in the water.
That's right.
So they have to. They're not like. So that's where you and I have evolved. We can actually breathe as we have guy-on-guy sex in the ocean. We just keep our heads.
We figure that out, right?
Yeah.
But here's the thing: they can whistle for like 2 miles, right? And go.
All right, but what
they go like they go like. Right, like I'm Bob, right, and then like Lisa's like 2 miles away, and she's like, "That's Bob."
I want some of Bob.
Yeah. Can you do that?
No. I'm married.
Yeah.
Here's the thing.
So I'm very.
But what is it? All right, but you could say the same thing about like, hey, elephants. They're the only mammal that bury their dead.
Yeah.
And they visit that spot. They grieve.
Yeah, they do.
But for some reason, dolphins
carry
chimps throw their own shit.
Dolphins carry their dead.
They carry them?
They carry them on their backs.
It's kind of creepy. It's like an old school Italian funeral back in the day in the hills.
They're a family, just like elephants.
Pod, right?
Pod. That's a family.
But the dolphins, they reached a guy that never went in the water because he fell off his surfboard. For some reason, the dolphins got you.
That's right. Do you see the dolphins they've saved millions of people?
They saved a lot of sailors in World War II. You read Unbreakable by Laura Hillenbrand and all these weird books where guys are lost at sea and the dolphins pick them up.
That's right.
But what was your moment of clarity where you went, I have to keep dolphins? Because nobody's slaughtering dolphins to my knowledge, like in Malibu. You don't see them like chopping them up and chumming them and throwing it through wood chippers on PCH.
No.
You had to get on a plane and go to Japan.
Not only did I get on a plane, but I got on a train. My friend said,
"Oh, fuck. I'm already
my friend
out.
said, hey,
I'm
man,
already out of that charity.
Check it out."
I'll go to St. Monica's around the corner. Pally High, what do you need? It's right here.
My friend says, it's amazing. It's the bullet train. But he didn't tell me that it was only the bullet train for 2 hours. Then we get on the old train, the Orient Express.
Choo-choo. Charlie Chan walks in with a cigarette holder.
Another 6 hours. And
Mr. Sorum, I saw you acting suspiciously. Please come with me. Hold my cat.
Yeah, it got a little strange out there.
Well, what's weirder? Whatever happened on the train or the fact that a white guy from Orange County got on a plane and a train to go join a bunch of Japanese people to protest dolphin slaughter?
Yeah. I just
by the way, I'm completely pro-dolphin.
Yeah.
It's just amazing to me how far you traveled to help dolphins. You're never going to get a thank you note.
But maybe if I fall off my surfboard one day, like Bob might be around.
Lucky dolphin. You're never going to open an envelope and it's going to go... Right?
You know what the thank you will be?
What's that?
When it stops, I'll be happy. It'll be just another challenge for me in my life that I realize that my little bit of notoriety, not that I wish I was George Clooney because I could do a lot more.
Right, but you can draw a crowd. Like if you go to Japan and you just go, the guy from Guns N' Roses is here, they don't even go which one.
But here's
They
the
just start
problem. They
running.
can't say Guns N' Roses. They say Guns N' Roses.
That's fine. As long as they show up.
And they say Matt Sorum. They can't say R and they can't say...
But that's fine because you're not even saying it racially. You're saying it, listen, I'm letting you...
You know how they say slash? Swash.
Do they really say it? Slash is on my radio show, my sports talk radio show, and he goes, I've always wanted to meet you, Jeremy. This is really great. And I go, it's all right, Slush. You got
Slush, that's the man.
I didn't know what to say.
Yeah, Slush is perfect.
So when you go to Japan, I don't know what the dolphin problem is because I've completely tuned it out.
Okay.
So help me, because I'm a guy. Okay. I'm the guy that goes, there's fucking starving people that just lost their parents in a house fire, and you're going across the world to save dolphins. What's the matter with you? What's the matter with you? Tell me what's the matter with you.
It's all part of the program. It's like I was drawn to it, and I'll tell you why I was drawn to it. I was in Cabo San Lucas. I was staying in a hotel, and there was a swim with dolphin thing going on.
Love it. No. I did it, and I couldn't believe how the joy I had swimming with dolphins.
Well, I'm going to rip you a new one then. Okay, here we go. And let me explain what's happening.
Ooh, this is good.
Okay, here's what's happening. There's 8 dolphins in a swimming pool. Okay? And these people come off these cruise ships from 8 o'clock in the morning to 5 o'clock at night. And they ride these dolphins.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, I didn't ride it. I was pushed by it.
Do you think the dolphins like it? That you're on them? You're like a big old grizzly guy riding on them? Are they getting paid? You know what they're getting paid with? Dead fish.
Yeah.
A dolphin swims miles.
Bill Ward.
Okay, let me tell you, that's what changed my thinking about.
How do you know the dolphins don't like it?
They don't like it.
How do you know?
Because
Aquaman. Did you talk to them? They love fucking fish. They love dead fish. They fucking go bad. That guy blows that fucking whistle. And they come out with their stupid smiles.
No.
You
know why? You know why they do? Because they starve them to death. And let me tell you about the Cove.
I know you're bumming me out. Paradise Cove up the street where I get my dolphin burgers.
Let me tell you about the Cove and why I went there. Okay,
this is the Cove from the documentary that I've avoided.
I was there, standing there on the beach. When these guys drive these dolphins in, they don't just slaughter them; they take them out of the water. Okay, so they basically taking them from their freedom and selling them to these same kind of places that I'm telling you about.
Okay,
swim with dolphin programs around the world. They basically sell these dolphins between $30,000 and $150,000 a piece.
We got to get in the dolphin business. What are we doing a podcast for?
So my thing of going there was saying, hey, man, this is barbaric, right? Who says those are your dolphins, number one? They're coming out of the ocean. The ocean is everybody's ocean.
Yeah.
Right? It's not Japan's or any other part of the world.
I got a 2-year-old thinks it's his.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically the reason I went with the Japanese activist was Japan has to stop the problem, right? They have to be the ones to stop it. Could you imagine if you're chomping down on your burger in the backyard? You're getting ready to just roast up a burger, and about 20 Japanese guys come blowing in going, don't eat that hamburger! Maybe not. They won't say it like that. They'd say it with a little bit more broken English.
Yeah.
But they say don't eat that hamburger. You'd be like, screw you. Go back to Japan.
Right.
So I'm on this beach. These Japanese guys are yelling at us, Yankee, go home. Not exactly like that, a little bit more broken English. But they're cooking.
It's implied.
They had a barbecue on the beach where they're cooking whale meat and dolphin on the beach.
Okay.
But here's the thing. They haven't been doing this dolphin hunt for it's not a culture. It's not like a tradition. First of all, they couldn't catch a dolphin, number one, until they had an engine on their boat that was fast enough to catch one. So that only started in the 70s. This is a new thing. And it's all about money and greed.
How come nobody's trying to save the tuna? A serious question.
Well, the tuna's...
you get a can of tuna, but if it's got dolphin in it, we got some serious moral implications and ramifications.
The dolphin is a mammal. It's a very intelligent being. We need to realize that this mammal has a higher intelligence, and this is a very feeling species. Not to say that all animals can't be treated equally. I don't think that's the deal. Like people, if you're a vegan, you're all about like farm animals.
Vegans are fucking batshit crazy. So
well, you know, you have to pick your battles. Basically,
I'm not going to fight vegans.
Yeah,
they can't get full erections.
I pick my battles in that world. I'm looking at wildlife, and where wildlife belong is in the wild.
So is there? All my questions are. I'm with it. I dig it. You know why I'm with it? Because I get the questions or the shit I take on Twitter is. I'm always like, you got to go human. Go show a homeless guy, veteran of the first Gulf War, laying in his own piss on Lincoln. Yeah. Go show him your new cat that you saved. I'm sure he thinks you're doing God's work. And then everyone goes, it's not either or. It's not either or. And I'm like, I know it's not either or. Some of it's for comedic effect. But what I like about you, Matt Sorum, at Matt Sorum on Twitter, hashtag more stories. Let them know you saw him here. And if you saw him here, I want to tell him what you're smoking because it's audio. Is you're helping the kids in the schools and helping the animals. Somehow
it all ties together.
I think it's great.
I love it. You know?
But are we helping animals in descending order? Serious question. In descending order of intelligence. Like there's a lot of people out there that want to save fucking ferrets.
Well, they can save ferrets, but I'm on to elephants and dolphins. And I have one other organization I'm involved in, that's moon bears. And I'll tell you what happened to me.
So we're at 4 organizations. You're a busy dude. When do you drum?
I drum when they pay me enough.
Nice. All right.
Right? Have you ever done this?
8 levels.
When you
8
get a
bedrooms.
gig. When you get a gig.
Yeah.
If you don't really want to do the gig, do you ask for an exorbitant amount of money?
Yes.
And if they give it to you, you go, all right.
Then all of a sudden, I want to do the gig.
Like the 11 guys at the university are probably taking a little less because it's.
So that was free. It was Kevin and Bean's April Foolishness. That was just for I want the championship, but I want to be the comedian of the night. Like I want to get knockout of the night. You know.
That's kind of what I'm doing now, but a lot of people are like, "No, man, forget it." I just throw like some crazy number out there just to see if it sticks. And if they go, "Yeah, well, we're in."
Yeah. But more and more rock and rollers are getting like corporate gigs.
Yeah, there's a lot of corporate.
It's super bizarre. Like they'll fly you to Moscow to do like a weird gig for 14 people, and then you fly home.
Yeah, there's
for like super crazy money.
Yeah, Pat Benatar, she's got a whole career in corporate. She's like, you haven't seen her in a long time, but
I've seen her. I know she's at like the Canyon Club, and she does local stuff. She does local hits. But why did she feel the need to give her husband equal billing out of nowhere? With Gerardo?
Probably.
What's his name? No. His name
probably like a home issue.
Really?
Someone at the house.
Because no one's like, hey, do you guys want to see that guy and his wife, Pat Benatar? It's fucking Pat Benatar. Don't you mess around. No.
Let me tell you, man. When I was growing up in school, if the chick was dressed like Pat Benatar with a little, like the
on.
Yeah, it was.
Back in the 50s.
That was the hot chick then.
But Truman was president when you were growing up. So dolphins, you go to the Cove.
Yeah.
And what do you do to get guys? Is it just awareness? Like when you go... And thank you for answering all my questions because this is cool. For me, at least. I hope you're having a good time.
Everybody else is tuned off.
No, that's not the case at all. Because
now there's a lot of animal. My Twitter is just lighting up with animal people, man. To a point of oh my god.
Maybe I'll keep helping animals just to get Twitter followers. That's really what's
I got 6,000 just since I went to Japan.
Yeah,
there's a whole new market out there, baby.
And those people that see you helping a dolphin are going to see Matt Sorum's Fierce Joy and go, I want to download that because he came to my town and saved Fudgy the dolphin, get back off the beach. Yankee, go home. Let him finish. He's got an album coming out in January.
That's right. Yeah, that's true. That's where,
I'm still not sure how Afghanistan pulled it or Pakistan pulled it.
That was something that I was working on early on. Like I said, with my other charity. I started another charity called Global Sound Lodge.
All right, I'm not even. This is
like an exam. There'll be an exam.
No, it's I'll pass. I think you're pretty fucking cool, dude.
So I started.
You're not here to fill a slot. You're here because you're fucking Matt Sorum from the cult, not from just FYI. It's the cult that got you in the door. All right. So peacethroughmusic.org.
PCmusic.org is an event that's happening Sunday. My website and my charity is called Adopt the Arts.
I have that. Adoptthearts.org.
That's it.
Now, you can also go to Matt's website, which is mattsorum.tv.
And you could go in there and you could click on both of those babies. You could click on that.
This will be up and running. So,
but Adopt the Arts. Let's focus.
Yeah. Let's do it. AdoptTheArts.org.
Adopt the Arts.
This is a good gig because I think Macy Gray is one of the more underrated people
She is.
in all of music.
I love Macy. Did you know I played on a track of hers recently?
No.
It's a great song. It should have been a hit, but I don't think it was in the right hands, maybe. It's called Kiss It.
Bring in Steve Lillywhite. Clean that shit up. Silly White can fix all.
That's some progressive shit, man. He did some cool records.
Bro, you sat right where you're sitting.
Really?
Yeah. You're catching on here, dude.
That's deep.
So,
Yeah.
okay, adoptthearts.org. Give me the date.
Okay, the date of the event is September 15th.
Okay, what day of the week is that? Because I'm dumb.
It's Sunday.
Oh, so this will be out Friday. You're listening to this right now on a Friday if you're up to date.
Yeah.
And if you have the More Stories app on your iPhone, you're definitely listening to this on a Friday. So on Sunday, September 15th, where is it, sweetie?
It's at the Roy Dolby Lowe's Theater. The Roy
Rolls right off the
Dolby
I don't even know-
Lowe's Theater.
That's
where they
3
used
times.
to have
I didn't even know what you said still.
the Roy Dolby.
Are you imitating a Japanese guy again?
There's a lot of L's in there, man. It's screaming.
Roy Dolby, like Dolby Sound?
Yeah, Dolby.
Or Thomas Dolby? Science! Roy Dolby.
Nah,
Fuck it. Go
you-
to mattsorum.tv for tickets. How's that?
No, go to adoptthearts.org.
Adopt the Arts. I've never given out more websites in a podcast in my life.
I got more.
All right.
I got more. I swear to God I do.
And if you want to see Shahzad Roy.
If you're a Pakistan person, you'll know who he is.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if you know this. I'm a quarter Pakistani. I just said that to get it to UCLA. Okay. So
Yeah.
Adopt the Arts. Now I can't talk. Haiti. It made me feel great.
AdoptTheArts.org.
Not .tv. How come Tommy Lee didn't talk you into that one?
Well, because I think you get...
Because you go, wow, Tommy Lee might
This
be an
really-
alcoholic. Maybe I shouldn't listen to what he says.
This really says charity.
So adoptthearts.org. September 15th, you're doing a show, and there's Slash, Macy Gray.
Yep.
This is like you
And
kind of
don't forget Shahzad Roy, your home person.
no homeboy, Pakistani's own Halasan. What's up?
Yeah.
Love that
Yeah,
guy.
we'll be, they wanted to do, what do you call those pipes that you smoke out of? Like not
Hookahs?
A bong. Not a bong.
Hookah.
A hookah. They wanted to do a hookah hang. Have you ever had hookah?
No, I always just smoked other things that got me real high. I wasn't going to sit around with a bunch of fucking hippies in the valley to smoke apple, cinnamon, hashish.
You know who's going to be there?
No.
You're a big Glee fan, aren't you?
Jane Lynch?
Yes!
Jane Marie Lynch on Twitter.
She was my neighbor for a minute. And Jay is so cool.
Thanks, man.
Jane is awesome. Jay, I said Jay, didn't I?
Yeah.
I just threw that in there, see if you catch it.
I love Jane Lynch. Are you guys still like buddies?
I wanted to see if he was still awake. Did you dig that? Jay is so cool.
Bro, I'm right here.
No, Jane Lynch is super cool. So
Is she emceeing it?
She's going to hang. She's on our board. You know who else is on our board? You want me to throw some names down?
I want all names you got. Well, let me just say this.
Billy Bob Thornton.
Billy Bob Thornton, I saw in an elevator in Las Vegas. He weighed about 90 pounds.
Billy Bob Thornton.
He was super nice.
Remember that movie? What's that movie?
Sling blade. Some folks call it a Kaiser blade. Some folks call it a Kaiser blade. I call it a sling blade. You keep your hands off that boy. Real quick. AdoptTheArts.org. September 15th, there is a concert happening.
Yes.
Matt Sorum / Macy Gray. Jane Lynch is going to play tambourine.
She's going to rip some tambourine.
And Billy Ray. Fucking
Billy Bob's not going to be there, but he's on our board.
Oh. It's kind of a bummer he's not going to be there. Because he can play.
I was going to tell you who's on our board. You know what a board is?
I do, and Buddy Hackett once told me, don't ever go on a board. Hand to God. Because I got asked to be on a board of like something, and I was like really like fired up and excited. He goes, because if they get sued, you're a board member, they're going to have to bring you into court. And you're like, what did I do? I just wanted to help with music in schools. Now I'm in court. And he was right.
Did he sit here too?
No, he was dead since then.
Oh,
2 years ago we started
Buddy
this.
Hackett,
He was like a father to me. I met him after I knew everything. He was like the kung fu master that emptied my cup.
Oh my God, I love.
You know, he said to me, "Why do you walk to the mic when you go on stage?" And I go, "Because that's where you walk." He goes, "Right. Don't do what everybody else. Did you see what I did?" And I go, "No, I was getting high in the back." He goes, "I walk in front of the mic and I wave to a couple guys. There's always a guy in the front. He paid for parking and he's got a girl with him.
And then you look up at the balcony and you just blow them a kiss because no one ever talks to them, right? And then you walk to the other side of the stage and go, oh, my God. Like you don't even know there is another side. You're surprised. And then you go behind the mic and they all go behind the mic with you.
Never walked to a mic since in my life.
Wow.
Like he would tell me shit like that. Like just driving to get,
that's
you
awesome.
Want to come with me to gas up the car?
Like everything was like a weird adventure. Like I'm gonna go get gas. Shouldn't be like like he'd call me in my house.
What are you doing, kid?
Just watching Jane Lynch in Glee. Thinking about dolphins.
Hey,
having some dolphin chips. Why? What's up?
You want to hear the weirdest person?
You want to help me come gas up the car?
Oh yeah. What's the weirdest?
You want to hear the weirdest person I ever drove in my car?
Yes.
Sonny Bono.
That's pretty weird.
Yeah. So I'm 18 years old, and to make a little bit of money on the side, I've got this job playing in a movie. So Sonny Bono's in the movie, and he comes up to me and he says, "Hey, kid, do you know where I could get a keyboard?" And I go, I was an extra, like getting food and like.
So how old? You're already you're past Prophecy. You're at Chateau. I'm being serious.
I think I was. Yeah, at that
musical
point,
timeline.
I just moved to Hollywood.
So you're in Chateau
now. About 18, 19.
You're hot shit. You're already drumming on the street.
No, I quit Chateau and I started playing at this club called the Central, which is now the Viper Room. And I got my first gig in there, so I started playing around Hollywood. There was a club called Madame Wong's West, Madame Wong's East, the Hong Kong Cafe, all those
Why
clubs.
was everything Asian? No wonder you go to Japan so much.
It was pre-Blade Runner.
It's like a visceral. It's a childhood memory.
Did you ever see Blade Runner? It was real. No.
I've seen both versions.
So I was playing all these places, but on the side I would go do little extra gigs to get fed because you get the good catering.
Yeah.
And then you get like $50. So Sonny Bono comes over and goes, "Hey, kid, you look like a musician. Could you take me to get a keyboard?" I go, "Huh?" He goes, "Take me to the music store." So I got this old beat-up $40 Rambler station wagon, which was like rusty and kind of green. And it's me and Sonny Bono tooling down Sunset Boulevard. It's so weird, right?
Yeah.
And I go, I know where Guitar Center is. I'll take you to Guitar Center. So I take Sonny Bono and Guitar Center. Everyone's like, "What's that weird kid doing with Sonny Bono?" Right? And we go in there and we buy a keyboard. And
I don't think they thought that. I think they probably just thought, "Oh my God, that's Sonny Bono." I really don't think anybody thought, "Hey, what's with the kid?"
Yeah. Yeah,
I mean,
you're probably right.
It's not like you were 8 driving a car.
You're probably
like,
right.
"Whoa, there's like an 8-year-old just pulled up in a station wagon."
Yeah.
What's going on with that?
But you want to hear the second weirdest guy I ever drove down Sunset with?
I do. I want to hear the first 8 weird people you had in your car. Charity Schmerity.
Phil Spector.
Oh, my God. And here you are to live to tell about it.
Yeah.
Are you going to tell me that I murdered Matt Sorum of Guns N' Roses? I'm supposed to be Phil Spector, but I'm Al Pacino with a wig on. She shot herself. She was very depressed.
Why are you driving Phil Spector? Did he make you?
No, check it out. Pretty much. I played on a Celine Dion track.
Naturally.
Which was weird. This is a very strange story. So I'm at Ocean Way Studios, which is very famous for Frank Sinatra, the Beach Boys, all these people. So I'm playing with this artist named Poe, who I did a record with years ago.
Edgar Allan?
Edgar.
All right.
I walk around the corner, and I see Kato Kalin, who I met at the gym.
Yeah.
This is all during the OJ trial.
Yeah.
Kato says, "Hey, Matt, Kato." And it's kind of the guy you always try to avoid, but
but he's always really nice when you meet him.
He's nice, so I'm like, "Hi, Kato." He's on the treadmill next to me at the gym. That's how I knew him. So
perfect bangs.
I go, "What's up?" He goes, "I'm in here with Phil Spector. Come meet him." So I go into the studio, and there's Phil, and Phil gets up, kind of combs. He's got a toupee on. He's always got all these wigs.
Yeah.
He had a good-looking one. It was a little bit more coiffed. Gets up, says, "I hear you're the Guns N' Roses drummer." Say it like Al Pacino, though.
I heard you hit the skins for Guns N' Roses.
So he says to me,
I wonder if that's true.
He says to me, "I want you to play drums on this track."
How about a spot? I'm doing incline.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So I walk in there, and there's Phil. He gets up. He says,
I understand. Are you going to tell me You're the drummer. Is this Steven Adler I see before me?
And I go, no.
My wig's too tight. Gives me a headache. And my lips are numb.
Yeah. So I go, my name's Matt. Yes, I am. And he says, I want you to play on Celine's track. And I just throw out a number. I said, $5,000. And he says, okay. I said, I'll be right back. So I...
You get your sticks out of the trunk of your car?
Yeah, pretty much. So anyway...
And what kind of sticks do you use, Matt Sorum?
I don't answer those questions.
Oh, good. All right.
It might incriminate me.
Or it might change, right?
It could be. So I go and I get my sticks out of the car. And I go in there and I think, yeah, I could knock this out in a half an hour. I'll be, 18 hours later.
It's a wall of sound. You don't get out in 18 minutes. It's a wall of sound. Have you seen my rifle collection?
Okay. So I'm in there. Rodney Bingenheimer. You know Rodney?
No.
From K-Rock, the famous...
Oh, famous
Rodney Bingenheimer's in there. Kato, all these wackadoos. And 18 hours later, about hour 15...
That's not even minimum wage at this point.
Yeah, about hour 15, Phil goes, I'm hungry. Right?
Are you guys in the mood for a bite?
And I say...
All this drumming, I feel like I need a nosh.
So I say to Phil Spector, I say, have you ever had Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles?
Oh, I heard so much about it when I worked with the Supremes.
So check it out.
Before I punched Little Ronnie across the room, we were on our way there once, but then she got lippy. Do you like dolphins?
So I get Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles for me and Phil. And Phil's sitting across the table, and he's chomping down on this. He's like, this is really good.
Yeah, I can't. If I do it anymore, they'll get mad.
So this is really good. And then I look over, and he's got a piece of chicken lobbed in his throat, and he's choking. Right? He's like, right? And I'm like, oh, shit, I'm going to kill Phil Spector with Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles.
Okay.
So I yell at my buddy across the room. I say, Heimlich maneuver, right? So he runs over. He's got little Phil, who's got some high heels on him,
Oh, sure.
Yeah. And picks Phil up, and his feet are like kicking. And he's got him, and he's and all of a sudden, boom!
Just like in the movies,
no
right?
waffles, just chicken.
Right. And what did he say? Like, you saved my life, and
yeah, the whole thing. He loved me after that. So he says, "Let's go down the street to Sunset. We'll get some chicks, and then we'll go get a drink." And he says, "Take me somewhere." So we get in his Rolls Royce limousine.
Back to Guitar Center.
Yeah. So we get in this 1965 Silver Cloud Rolls Royce with a driver, and we're tooling down Sunset.
Good old Phil Spector.
And Phil
driving
says,
around town.
Phil says, let's stop by Hollywood Boulevard and get some chicks. I'm like thinking, what kind of chicks?
Hugh Grant time?
Yeah. So I'm like, no, I'll call a couple girls. He goes, where are you taking me? I go, El Compadre. So me and Phil Spector go into El Compadre. We sit in the back booth. And he starts telling me all this crazy shit, how he owns Rolling Stone magazine and all this like stuff about the police department's on his salary and all this stuff.
Did you know Jan Wenner played in the Negro Leagues with Josh Gibson? It's a disguise.
But I love the guy. He was really cool. But I said, you know what, Phil, I got to go for a pee. So I get up and I go to the bathroom and I do out. I'm out. Right? You're a big sports guy, right?
Yeah.
The next day I get a call from his assistant. Mr. Spector would like you to come over to his house. He's got some tickets for the Lakers game for you. I'm like, can you send them?
So he totally freaked you out.
Yeah, he's freaking me out a little bit.
But what was it? Watching his little legs kick up when he choked? Because to me, that's the creepiest part.
You heard about him holding people captive.
Yeah.
Well, he kept me
the
there.
Ramones couldn't leave. The Stones couldn't. Nobody could leave.
So I go, please send the tickets. So, did you ever go to Lakers games?
Yeah.
Phil used to sit right there at center court. He used to sit right on the. I don't know if you ever.
How do they miss him on Celebrity? I never saw him on TV.
Well, you know what he wore? He wore like this hats. He wore hats.
Do-rag, man. Do-rag.
Like
Phil Spector.
Like Gilligan Island kind of thing. With like sunglasses and shit.
Yeah.
Like that kind of a vibe. Because I
gotta lay low.
Yeah. No wig, you didn't.
Did you know Horace Grant tried to rape me?
Yeah. So I go down to the Laker game. I sit in his seats, and the guy comes. You can get drinks and food and stuff. Mr. Spector says anything you would like.
So now you're in his pot. Yeah, see, I know how this goes.
I go, I wasn't vegetarian then, so I was like filet mignon.
You're a vegetarian now?
Yeah.
Come on, dude.
What?
Because of a dolphin experience?
I just don't like eating animals. I'm not feeling it anymore.
You know what? Just the fact that one sentence, you're off the hook. I'm not feeling it. Not feeling it anymore.
Yeah. I just went to Japan where everything was staring back at you. Like a bowl of soup, there's like eyeballs in there.
Yeah, it's eyeball soup. It's big there.
Whoa, there's like something staring at me.
Eyeball soup is big in Japan.
It's kind of scary. Everything's got eyeballs in it. Anyway, so I get these tickets and I send Phil. I thought it would be a nice gesture to send him, something. So I sent him cookies and a bottle of milk.
Very sweet.
Chocolate chip.
Homey, nice, right?
I got
memories of home.
I got a killer letter from him.
Yeah.
That I framed. You should see it. It's really awesome. It says, "Thanks for the cookies, Phil Spector."
Will you?
It's my pride possession.
Yeah, text me a photo of it. I'm being serious. Will you text me a photo of it?
And when
will you tweet that photo?
Okay, I will.
It'd be really cool if you send it to me. I tweet it like, look at me just in Matt Sorum's house, just running around with Phil Spector wigs on, reenacting stuff.
Yeah, Phil, man, that was
you and I should get some Phil Spector wigs and just do like the Gettysburg Address. Just do weird things in history.
I thought about maybe doing a whole play based around that night with Phil Spector.
It's a great idea. I mean, if it's as weird, but really,
there's a lot more to it than that.
All right, because you really just said you went to a Mexican restaurant and then ditched them.
No, there's a ton more.
I bet.
But you don't have that long of a show.
Well, for that kind of a story we do, maybe it's a different pot. You just have to come back closer to the release of Matt Sorum's Fierce Joy.
Fierce Joy.
All right. AdoptTheArts.org. That's Sunday. Right now, if you're listening to this, you can get tickets at AdoptTheArts.org, and you're going to raise money.
Yes.
Explain to us what happens when you go buy a ticket and go see Matt Sorum / Macy Gray, Jane Lynch, and others at AdoptTheArts.org.
Our goal
show September 15th, which is this Sunday right now.
Our goal is to get into more schools this year. We've adopted schools through the LAUSD. I've got over 1,000 instruments in 25 schools, but we need money for that because I can't get everything for free, so I have to pay $50 a guitar. I have connections with companies like Fender, Gibson, Casio, different companies that help subsidize, but I still have to pay for it. So I buy all the instruments, plus we subsidize the teachers, so we help pay. We work in partnership with the LAUSD and Stephen McCarthy, who's the head of music of the LAUSD. So, we're working together in the community to help keep kids immersed in music and art because I think it's so important.
If you buy a ticket, AdoptTheArts.org to go see Matt Sorum / Macy Gray, Jane Lynch, September 15th, you will be helping kids.
You'll be helping kids.
It's weird. Wayne Kramer was here,
yeah.
and he's getting instruments to take to jails.
I went and played with him there.
You did?
I went to Lancaster Prison.
Oh, my God.
So
now you're going in the other direction.
The reason I wanted to see that because I wanted to really have...
Music is becoming very important in our lives, more important than it ever was.
Well, I wanted to be educated on what's going on in the prison system, and I learned a lot about the situation, especially Lancaster Prison. I don't know if you know this, but that particular prison cost $100 million a year to fund. And prisons in the state of California are privately owned. Did you know that?
I did know that. It's sickening.
So it's basically big business. We're paying our tax dollars.
And the more people you have, the more money you get from the...
right. Yeah. Bring them. Build them. There's 4,500 guys in Lancaster Prison. But the gig that we did was the thing called the Honor Yard, where... Remember the Johnny Cash?
What was the guy's name who runs the Honor Yard? He's doing Life Without Parole, and he created...
you'd have to ask Wayne that because I was just hanging with him.
Do you remember that name, guy?
I don't remember the name offhand, no. But I remember him telling the story.
Mellow fellow.
So I go with Wayne, and here's this Honor Yard. You got to imagine, okay, I'm in this high security prison where there's some pretty heavy criminals in there. The Honor Yard, they basically sign a petition that says, I'm not going to get in any trouble. I'm not going to engage in gang activity. I'm not going to kill anybody. I'm not going to deal drugs. And they can go to this Honor Yard if they act accordingly. And those are the guys that get these concerts and stuff like that. So people were giving us some flack about going a little bit, like, why are you helping those guys? Why are you doing this? And I look at it like, hey, man, they're human beings. You know, maybe a lot of people don't think so, but maybe people think not even animals. I don't want to, people call them monsters or whatever they want to call them. But we look at music as therapy, and maybe when people, if there's a possibility of parole, whatever that is, that music will take them someplace else that will inspire them to do something else with their life.
I just did Wayne's jail guitar doors at Ford Theater, and the opening act was the graduate.
Right.
Frank Foster was one of his graduates.
Okay, yeah, cool. Yeah, they played too. So we had, you know, they've got instruments on the prison grounds there for the honor prisoners, the guys that, you know, they keep themselves out of trouble.
And you're making a good point. It's not so the listener doesn't think like some guy that's throwing his own piss at guards. He doesn't get a banjo signed by Steve Martin.
Yeah,
it's like you got to really.
It's an incentive-driven program.
You have to be rehabilitated.
Right. All these programs are for kids in my art and music class.
But how many kids are never going to have to worry about being in an honor yard because they found an instrument they fell in love with and they didn't want to goof off in school?
That's the goal.
See what you did all the way. You're doing. You spread yourself. You're like an octopus with the charities. You're all over the place, and it's to be admired.
Thank you.
Because
I've got a little bit more time now. You know, I used to tour year round, and I'm just not doing that anymore. And
that was the charity of you because you had to fill your pockets a little. You got to eat. You get the mortgage.
Yeah.
6 tiers.
I got rid of that pad.
San Quentin only has 5 tiers.
That was a lot of fun for a while. That'll be another show.
All right.
You know, I got stories about that.
So let's make sure we go to the show, adoptthearts.org.
Yeah, and people can
donate
great there. And another really cool thing we got going on in the next few weeks is a site. You've heard about these sites that are raising money like Kickstarter and all that stuff.
Yeah.
There's a new one called Fund Anything.
That's what Adam Carolla did for his movie.
Yeah. I'm on
Got over $1 million.
And Jane Lynch.
All right.
Click on there. Check it out. It's Fund Anything. We're doing a 45-day thing right now. I think we're up to like $10,000. But you can actually fund one school by being on Fund Anything.
Can I go on it and pick what school I want to fund?
Not necessarily, but we could. If you want to adopt a school, I'm going to hit you up.
I want to pick like I'm going to pick like Cal Lutheran.
No.
Like a school that needs no help whatsoever. Like, just thought you guys might want $1,000 for a new quarterback. Probably needs a new helmet.
No.
Whatevs.
No, we don't do charters. We don't do
No, I would totally do it.
Okay,
I'm into it.
Okay,
and
cool.
if you ever want to go,
I just need $85,000 from you then.
I can't afford it. I have a radio show.
Yeah.
Hey, look,
but we can go with all your friends. We can raise.
Don't name your price with me.
We can raise $85,000 with you and your friends. No problem.
What about your friend? You're in fucking Guns N' Roses.
Hey,
what are my degenerate pothead comic friends going to do?
Why don't you come down Sunday night and do a little bit?
Calm down Sunday night?
No, come down.
But you haven't told. You told us it's at Roy Dolby on the strip.
You come down, I'm going to throw you up on stage. You're going to feel the feeling of giving.
Well, yeah, I like giving.
You're going to walk out of there a changed man.
Well, if you can get the name of the place,
you're going to come home and you're going to adopt a dolphin. It's going to be crazy.
You look me in the eye. You tell me the name of the place without looking over your shoulder.
The Ray Dolby.
Nope. Don't look.
The Roy Dolby Lowe's Theater on Hollywood and Vine. Lowe's Hotel.
The Roy Dolby Lowe's Theater inside the Lowe's Hotel.
For all you people that are smoking weed right now.
That's 80% of the listeners.
Check it out.
Mailman right now.
The Roy Dolby Theater at the Lowe's Hotel.
You got it.
In Hollywood, California. Google it. Or go to adoptthearts.org.
Org. This is fun as hell. The lot we can't get to because of time, but you got to come back,
cool.
And it's always good when you meet a new old friend.
Dude, it looks like you're rolling like a pimp in your Range Rover.
What did you drive here?
Mercedes.
Yeah, so
CL63.
Yeah, so what's up?
Fuel injected. Yeah, I'm thinking.
You're doing all right.
Hey.
But what's Macy Gray driving? A fucking spaceship. I think she leased one from Bootsy.
Yeah. She might be, man. She might be flying a spaceship. Oh, there she goes. You see her? Oh, yeah.
All right, Matt Sorum, at Matt Sorum on Twitter. And, of course, Guns N' Roses, the Cult. I want to talk about the Cult a lot. You got to come back.
Okay, cool.
And I'll charity the shit out of it. We'll just do a whole dolphin charity podcast. I don't give a shit.
I could bring Rick O'Barry from The Cove, but you don't like that movie.
No, you know what? It's so...
his story is fascinating.
You know what it is, though, about Rick O'Barry is The Cove is so societally... It's so important that I would love to meet the guy and do it
so
because
cool.
it's the one. It's like it's the Citizen Kane of documentaries.
Yeah, now Blackfish is big, They're going to get the Academy Award this year.
So any fish that breathes air that's actually a mammal, we go after. Nobody gives a shit about the eels. Not to ban the eels. They're cool. Eels are cool.
SeaWorld doesn't have eels. They have whales.
So we care about mammals.
Yes, mammals.
Just let me know because I'm new to the animal.
Okay. Go.
What's up, Phoenix? Come see me do live stand-up comedy. Where am I doing it? Stand-up live. What are the odds? I'm doing live stand-up comedy at a place called Stand Up Live. It's a great club. I love Phoenix. I go there once a year. September 19th, that's a Thursday. That's the night you want to fill. Come on, Warriors. Rally. I don't care if you got to drive from Tucson, because I ain't playing Tucson. Come up from Tucson to Phoenix and see me at Stand Up Live September 19th. That's a Thursday. And then you get to be all hungover at work on Friday and go, I saw Jay Mohr last night. It was great. We took off our shirts and did diamond push-ups. I will also be there September 20th, which is a Friday, September 21st, which is a Saturday. If you want any and all of my stand-up comedy dates, jmohr.com. All good things flow through jmohr.com. You got to go to jmohr.com and get your tickets. You can buy tickets for Stand Up Live, me, in Phoenix, September 19th. It's right around the corner. Don't blow this. Let's have a party because my girl wants to party all the time. Party all the time at Stand Up Live. That was free. Give me that for free. Now you give me a little kickback. Come see me do stand-up. Holler. GoDaddy.com, great sponsor. Don't fast forward over this because the contest is closing, y'all. It's closing. We have a contest right here at More Stories. I want you to go to GoDaddy.com and I want you to type in stories and I want you to come up with the best URL that's going to make us all laugh here at More Stories. Matt Sorum's on the podcast today, whenever you're listening. Maybe you could go, hey, Matt Sorum, best two-arm drummer in the business.com. And then you could put photos up of other two-armed drummers that are in rock and roll. That'd be a cool website. What if there's an entire website of just two-armed drummers? Matt Sorum has two arms, and he's my favorite drummer.com. It would make us laugh. You might win. Go to GoDaddy. They're offering my listeners a great new special offer for its most popular .com domain name. Impress us. Make it happen. Make it funny. Make it cool. Enter the promo code STORIES at checkout at GoDaddy.com to redeem your new or transfer.com. Check this out. Only $2.49 for the first year of registration, or click on the GoDaddy banner at jmohr.com. All good things happen through jmohr.com. Some limitations apply. Please see website for details. I'm asking you to do us a solid. You want to have some fun. I want this to be interactive. I want you guys to be a part of the show. Come up with a real funny URL. Email me your URL at jmohr.com, and we're going to pick a winner, and we're going to crown you. We will crown you the winner of the funniest .com name in regards to More Stories. GoDaddy.com and make sure you enter stories at checkout.
Put your name on it. Just put your name on it. That's all I say. Be a man or a woman. Put your name on it.
Well, I'd like to hear about it, potheads.
How the fuck you gonna know how to be great if you don't study greatness? Look at the game tape.
Donuts.
If you want a battle, it's either that you will or you won't.
You know, you're not a bad-looking man, Mr. Gals.
But you are, Blanche. You are in that chair.
There's something wrong with us. Something very, very wrong with us.
Hey, man!
right, Matt Sorum on More Stories. The website is weird. It's mattsorum.tv.
TV.
And is that tv.com or that's the whole caboodle?
It's .tv because Tommy Lee called me one day. He goes, dude. That's usually how I start the conversation.
Yeah.
And he says, you got to get .tv, dude. It's the wave of the future. And I'm like, really? He goes,
Pull
yeah,
your chair up, so you have to lean all day.
He goes, .com's done.
Yeah, nothing's ever going to happen to that .com stuff. Anytime Tommy Lee comes at you with the mania and the great idea, maybe go the other way.
Well, you know, he had
it's
a lot
gambling.
Yeah. He had a lot of followers on his Facebook page, so I believed him. And I thought, wow, he's socially media savvy. And I ran out there and I got the .tv, and then I read it's an island called Tavali off the Philippines.
So every time somebody does a Google search, mattsorum.tv, it also takes them to like
Tavali.
What about like transvestites or television sets?
Yeah.
Is it bad that I went to trannies before I went to TV sets?
You know, but maybe at some point I'm thinking I can monopolize on this thing because I believe that soon, I think, like your podcast will probably come up right on our television set. We'll have to we'll have to see your face. It'll all be like all intertwined. There won't be any like cable or any of that crap anymore. It'll just be all internet.
Yeah,
so my .tv will be strong.
Yeah, I don't think like .org, .gov, .net.
Yeah.
Tommy's one of those guys that calls you super manic.
Yeah.
He's like, bro, we're going to open tanny salons and we're going to give out karate bags.
Yeah.
And you're like, wait, what?
Now that's a good idea. I've never heard of that one.
He's so fired up.
Yeah, he is.
He's
like
sweetheart.
a kid. He's like a 15, 16-year-old kid. 12-year-old kid.
Let's talk about when you were 12 in a band called Chateau and you guys were rolling around. Because you're a local dude.
Yeah, I am.
Chino? No. Where are you from?
I grew up in Mission Viejo, California.
Mission Viejo. So you're in Chateau.
God,
you guys thought you were fancy, right?
I got to tell you, I went through a little bit of a pot smoking phase. And I was quite a bit of pot. Because I grew up in California. I mean, what else are you going to do? You know, I was eating really healthy alfalfa and avocado sandwiches. I was probably one of the first guys to drink a smoothie. That's in the 70s, right?
First guy ever. You were the Neil Armstrong of drinks.
Okay, no, are you hip to Hava chips? Have you ever had
a...
Okay,
I liked them a lot.
I went out with a chick who's dance tempo. Did you know that?
No, I did not.
For like disco songs. But we naturally feel these different rhythms. We all do as people. Like you listen to a slow song, you go, oh, I'm feeling sad and melancholy. You know, and then you listen to some speed metal and you just want to break some shit, you know? And you're like, why am I having that feeling? Well, it all has to do with tempo and the heartbeat and the way you're feeling.
Come on in,
inside.
sit down. It's super laid back. Don't worry. Oh, yeah. But make Tommy give up the massage chair. Now Tommy's got to do some inclines over here.
Yeah. That's my publicist. Isn't she hot?
Sure.
That's how we
you like
work
girls, I guess.
If you like girls.
What's your name?
Kim.
Hi, Kim. How are you? I'm Jay.
Hi, Jay. Nice to meet you.
Nice Matty boy. At JMoore37, at The Real Hey Matty, at Matt Sorum.
Yeah.
You're in a band called Chateau. We're going to go back to beats per minute, I suppose.
Yeah.
But I want to know how you guys almost got in a fist fight with Rat and who would have won.
Oh my God! Where'd you read this stuff,
bro? I am wired. When you gonna? This is where rock stars come to dish, bro. Look at the look who's been on the podcast, and just imagine what we say when we're off mic.
Okay, since I've already given my age, 1974.
61 years old. That's so.
Yeah, well, yeah.
You look good.
Thanks, man.
So how old are you?
I'm 52.
Oh, not as good.
The liver is 61. Maybe older. But so check it out. So the Key Club, you know where that sits on Sunset? That used to be a place called Gazzari's Crazy Horse West. Very famous club.
Catchy.
Gazzari's was a real guy.
I know. I've seen the documentary. I like Gazzari's Crazy Horse West.
Yeah.
Not exactly Applebee's. Doesn't roll off the tongue.
Yeah. Check it out. So this is a real person. His name was Bill Gazzari. He wore a white gangster suit and he had a white hat.
Yeah.
And he used to say, we got all the hot chicks and hot guys at Gazzari's. And it was on the radio and everyone would go there. And bands like Rat, the original Van Halen lineup, which was called Mammoth. So this is early 70s. I'm talking. So Van Halen got signed in 79. They were playing there around 75, 76. So I played my first gig at Gazzari's Crazy Horse West when I was 14, 1974.
What was that band? No, it was before Chateau.
That band was called Prophecy.
Yeah.
It was like a 3-piece power trio.
All your band names sound like Christopher Walken B movies. I'm starring in Chateau.
Prophecy.
It's a double feature with Prophecy.
Hey, there was a lot of weed going around. It was that
of course,
time.
Blame it on the weed. Yeah.
So, Prophecy, there was,
But
yeah.
14, I want to point out to the listener, a lot of people are like, how do I do this? How do I do that? How do I get into comedy? And I always go, like Nike puts it best, just do it.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that you were 14 at Ben Gazzari's, whatever the fuck it was, West, like, that's insane. Like, there's people right now, at 14, you're usually like jerking up into a sweat sock trying to figure out algebra, and you're actually performing on the Sunset Strip. That's through sheer tyranny.
His dad owned Hava Chips.
I love Hava Chips.
And they used to have a smoothie place in Laguna Beach.
And
I'd go down there, and we'd have a smoothie, and I had a Hava Chip, and then I'd eat an avocado and alfalfa sprout sandwich, and then I'd go smoke a big doobie, and I'd listen to progressive music. I'd listen to like Genesis and Gentle Giant, King Crimson, and I was like, whoa, this is heavy, right? So I started this band called Chateau, which wasn't my greatest musical endeavor ever in my career, but it was kind of a progressive rock thing.
It's just funny to me, like back then, Genesis was like prog rock. Like
Oh, well,
Abacab
yeah,
was like,
well-
man, you can't fuck with Abacab.
No.
By the way, in all fairness, Phil
Yeah.
Collins takes a lot of shit. I
Yeah.
actually think Abacab is top notch.
Right. I kind of lost it and then there were 3.
Yeah.
Like, I came in like pre-Gabriel, right? Like when Gabriel was still around.
the
Like
real
Lamb
deal.
Lies Down on Broadway.
And that was progressive, so you're fair. Okay, fair, good.
Yeah. So I was like, I don't know. I guess I could just give away my age. It doesn't matter. But I'm 52. So in the 70s, all my friends like Zeppelin and Sabbath and Deep Purple. I'm like, man, screw you. If
You liked white stuff. Real. Only 2 concerts I've ever walked out of: Genesis and Todd Rundgren.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Genesis at the Carrier Dome, and I was like embarrassed to be white. It was just filled with white people
That was
screaming invisible touch.
Well, maybe it was white dude music, which don't you think Rush is white dude music?
Yes.
A Dream Theater?
Greg Proops, who does a great podcast, said he went to see Rush. He never saw more gray ponytails in his life.
Oh, my God. Yeah,
Best-
mullets that turned
best
into a
synopsis.
ponytail. Yeah.
But I remember Genesis in particular, it was so many people. Everybody was white. Everybody was like kind of like that faux rocking out. Like,
Yeah.
like you can't really rock out to
You
Invisible
can't dance
Touch
to
or-
Genesis, man.
Like Abacab. Yeah. Like, I'll give you a yes. I'll give you a roundabout.
Yeah.
Like if you want to rock out to something really white.
Yeah.
But I was like, this is fucking dumb. We got to get out of here.
Yeah, it was pretty white music, I got to say. I have to admit. But I had a phase, and my friends brought me back, and they turned me on to, like, Sabbath Volume 4, and I came back.
Bill Ward, underrated.
Yeah, very underrated drummer.
And now underworked.
Yeah. The drummers get no respect, man.
None. Well, you've gotten a lot of respect, Matt.
Well, I
Sorum.
have, but I got a good lawyer.
That's attaboy. Well done.
It's like, any kid would, hey, man, I want to play drums just like you, and I want to be in a band, and I want to, like, have a house like you. And I go, get a good lawyer.
Yeah. So you don't get that Bill Ward treatment.
Oh, God.
Poor Bill Ward.
Well, you got to remember, he's the guy that kicked Ozzy out of the band.
Yeah. Ozzy probably holds a grudge, maybe? Or
It's
Ozzy's
like,
lawyers?
so you imagine, here's the scene. Ozzy's laid out on the couch after a pretty hard night of drinking, and Bill walks in, and he's like, dude, we've had it with you, man. You're out. Fire the guy. So they bring in, like, Ronnie James Dio or whatever, right? So years later, he's like, Bill, what about him?
Yeah.
But
Fair point.
for me, I did a show with Sabbath in Greece with Velvet Revolver. We opened for them, and it was all the original lineup. And here I was, a kid who saw them at the Long Beach Arena in 76 or 77, when they were just on, they were kids then still. And I was just a little kid. I was
Spooky.
like 15.
It was all so spooky then,
And
too.
if you remember, if you look at old footage of Black Sabbath, there was a white piece of tape in the middle of the stage, and Tony Iommi used to stand in the middle, and Ozzy was stage right. So Ozzy was never in the middle. It was Tony's band.
Yeah.
So go back and look at some old
I will
YouTubes.
now, yeah. We'll
Okay, and there was a white line, and that white line was for Ozzy never to cross that white line.
That's pretty cool. And you know what? A lesson in a successful band for a while. Boundaries. Establish boundaries. This is my side.
Could you imagine that would have worked for Guns N' Roses? No.
No, that would not have worked
Like,
at
but,
all.
But the thing that was really cool about seeing that band again and playing with them and being on the same stage with them was in Greece when they all were playing together, and it was that magic that you feel from bands, that original lineup and the sound of that band. And Bill Ward, God bless his soul, he's been through a whole hell of a lot. But when he was playing, man, I mean, no other drummer can play like that. It's like trying to play. I think the thing I've tried to explain about drummers is people are like, man, you're not as good as the first drummer in Guns N' Roses. I'm like, we're different people. The human nature of being a drummer is so much different because I think you naturally play a certain way, and it's your heartbeat and everything that makes you play. You can't go, I'm going to play like John Bonham, because it's never going to sound like John Bonham.
Right. And you bring up a really interesting point, Matt Sorum, and that's I've taken shit on Twitter like, we don't know. You got to keep saying who the guest is, even though it says it when you click on it on iTunes. A drummer's job is time, essentially.
Yeah.
I mean, is that the bare, basic, root job description?
Being on time and having good time is really great. Yes, but
I mean, if you're a half second off, it's over. Everything's
well,
over.
yeah. I think the thing
it's
that
not
people
like guitar
forget,
where you can
people forget, like if the drummer drops the beat, the whole thing goes to shit.
Yeah. So it's not like you're not as good as Steven Adler, you're not as good as that guy. Like, well, first of all, we all keep the same time.
Yeah.
It's how, and Steve Gorman told me this from the Crows. He said Ringo was his second favorite drummer behind Bonham. And I was like, Ringo. And all drummers that come in here, they circle back around to Ringo. And I'm like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
And it wasn't until you start hanging out with drummers, and thank God I have one in front of me for this discussion, they just hit differently. They hit the drums. They keep time, but the way they hit, it's different.
Yeah, I think that really is that human sensibility that you can't emulate. And it stems from, you got to remember, the heartbeat is a certain rhythm that actually, the dance tempo, I don't know, we get kind of crazy with this, but at 120 BPM, which is beats per minute, that is the perfect